The Nikon Z8 made its debut in 2023 and was immediately recognized as one of Nikon's most impressive achievements in recent years. Photographers and filmmakers alike celebrated its arrival because it offered something they had been asking for: a camera with the professional performance of the flagship Nikon Z9, but in a lighter, smaller, and more affordable body. It was the baby Z9 in every sense of the phrase, giving users access to high-end speed, resolution, and video features without the size and cost of the flagship. The Z8 made professional power easier to carry, and this accessibility is why it was so widely loved. Yet, less than 3 years after its release, rumors are already swirling about its successor, the Nikon Z8 II. While some may feel this talk is premature, the pace of technology in the camera industry leaves little room for complacency. With competitors upgrading their lineups year after year, Nikon must also evolve quickly to maintain its place in the professional mirrorless market. At the same time, however, Nikon must tread carefully, ensuring it doesn't alienate loyal Z8 users who may feel their investment has been made obsolete too soon. Balancing innovation with user trust is the challenge Nikon faces with the rumored Z8 II. To better understand the excitement and skepticism around the Z8 II, it helps to revisit what made the Z8 such a hit. It was called the baby Z9 for a reason. Nikon carried over the same 45.7 megapixel stacked CMOS sensor from the flagship. It delivered up to 20 frames per second of RAW image bursts, paired with 493 autofocus points and advanced tracking that rivaled the best in the business. On the video side, it could record in stunning 8K resolution at 30 frames per second, giving creators cinematic tools in a body that was much smaller and lighter than the Z9. For many hybrid shooters, the Z8 was the dream, a single camera that could deliver top-tier photo and video performance in a professional package without being oversized. But with new competitors emerging, Nikon's decision to move forward with a Z8 II is becoming easier to understand. Canon, for example, has been aggressive with its EOS R5 Mark II, which brings cutting-edge hybrid features that directly compete with the Z8. Sony has introduced groundbreaking innovations like the global shutter in its Alpha 9 III, which eliminates rolling shutter entirely. Meanwhile, the Sony A7RV dominates the resolution game with its massive sensor output. Every manufacturer is pushing boundaries in speed, resolution, or video performance. Nikon knows it cannot stand still if it wants to remain relevant. Even though the Z8 is still new in the grand scheme of things, market pressures are pushing Nikon toward upgrades sooner than some expected. It's also important to acknowledge that the Z8, as successful as it was not without its flaws. Nikon faced recalls on some Z8 units due to issues with strap lugs and lens mounts. Certain users reported overheating during extended video sessions, and others mentioned that battery performance could have been stronger. None of these were deal breakers, but they highlighted weaknesses. A new model like the Z8 II presents an opportunity to refine those shortcomings while also introducing more advanced features to stay ahead of competitors. So, what do the rumors say about the Nikon Z8 II? Video is expected to be the area of most significant improvement. While the current Z8 can record 8K at 30 frames per second, speculation suggests the Z8 II could double that to 8K at 60 frames per second. This leap would place the camera in rare company, as very few compact bodies are capable of such power. The critical aspect, however, is not just resolution, it's thermal design. Unlimited 8K at 60 FPS without overheating would be a massive advantage for filmmakers, giving them the reliability needed for long professional shoots. On top of that, the Z8 II may also introduce oversampled 4K at 120 frames per second, allowing for slow-motion video with far greater clarity and reduced softness. This would be a game changer for sports, wildlife, and cinematic creators who rely on sharp, slow motion to tell their stories. Another exciting possibility comes from Nikon's acquisition of RED Digital Cinema. This move suggests that Nikon may expand its internal codec support in future models. For the Z8 II, this could mean wider support for 12-bit RAW formats, or even internal ProRes RAW HQ recording. If these tools are integrated directly into the body, eliminating the need for external recorders. It would dramatically simplify workflows for professional video creators and elevate the Z8 II to mini cinema camera status. On the photography side, Nikon is rumored to push performance forward as well. The Z8 already offered 20 frames per second in RAW, but the Z8 II may raise that bar to 30 frames per second with full autofocus and exposure tracking. There are also whispers of a pre-burst feature, which would allow the camera to capture frames just before the shutter button is fully pressed, ensuring photographers never miss the decisive moment. This would be especially valuable for sports and wildlife shooters who live for split-second captures. Autofocus, already a Nikon strength, could also receive AI-driven refinements with more precise subject recognition and 3D tracking improvements. Whether it's a bird flying against a cloudy sky or an athlete in a crowded stadium, the Z8 II may bring even greater accuracy and reliability in difficult conditions. As for design, don't expect radical changes, but small refinements could make the Z8 II more practical and comfortable. A deeper grip might improve handling with large telephoto lens, while the electronic viewfinder could be upgraded to match the Z9's 5.76 million dot resolution, offering a more detailed and immersive experience. A brighter, higher-resolution LCD would improve usability outdoors, and stronger weather sealing, potentially reaching IP52, would allow professionals to shoot confidently in rain, dust, and other harsh environments. Materials like carbon fiber could even help reduce weight while increasing durability, making the Z8 II even more versatile. Of course, not all rumors are equally credible. Some sources claim the Z8 II could introduce a new 67-megapixel sensor, but most analysts believe Nikon will stick with the proven 45.7-megapixel stacked sensor, refining its speed and noise performance instead. Others mention the possibility of graphene-based thermal solutions, but at this stage, that feels more like speculation than a concrete possibility for a mid-range body. In short, while many of these upgrades sound exciting, it's best to treat them cautiously until Nikon provides official confirmation. The timeline for the Z8 II is still uncertain. Some industry insiders suggest a release as early as late 2025, while others think it may slip into 2026. Nikon typically operates on a 2 to 3 year cycle, which would place late 2025 in line with expectations. However, if Nikon prioritizes updates to the Z9 first, the Z8 II could follow later. Regardless of the exact timing, most agree that it won't arrive before Nikon refreshes its flagship. Ultimately, the Nikon Z8 II represents both opportunity and risk. On paper, it has the potential to strengthen Nikon's reputation in the mirrorless space with faster bursts, smarter autofocus, advanced video tools, and a stronger, more ergonomic design. But the camera's success will depend not just on specs, it will depend on how Nikon manages timing, strategy, and user trust. The Z8 II is not only about features, it's about positioning Nikon for the future, balancing innovation with loyalty, and ensuring its users feel both excited and supported. If Nikon gets that balance right, the Z8 II could very well become the next big leap in the company's mirrorless journey.